Picture this. You're walking home after a long day at work. It's totally quiet. The street lights are just softly humming. You aren't thinking about your biology. You definitely aren't worried about your heart rate. You're just walking, completely at peace with the evening around you.
Section 1. Calm before the storm. So, in this relaxed state, your breathing is slow, steady, and completely automatic. Deep inside, your stomach is quietly and efficiently digesting that turkey sandwich you ate for lunch a few hours ago. Your muscles are loose, your vision is relaxed, you are just chilling. Right now, your heart is beating around 70 times a minute. Nothing feels remarkable at all, but inside, billions of your cells are working in absolutely perfect harmony, in your body's default operating mode. We call this the parasympathetic nervous system. Think of it as your internal maintenance department. Its entire philosophy is super simple. The danger is over, now it's time to repair, digest, grow, and conserve our energy.
But here's the thing. Your baseline health actually depends on a constant tug of war. Check out this comparison. You have the sympathetic system, that's the famous fight or flight response, and it is constantly competing against the parasympathetic rest and digest system. You don't consciously control them, they control you. It's literally like two completely different drivers forced to share a single steering wheel. One is continuously trying to press the accelerator to prepare you for hardcore survival, while the other firmly presses the brake to keep you maintained. And right now, on this quiet walk, that brake is firmly on.
Section 2. Minute 0. Threat detected. Suddenly that calm completely shatters. Out of the absolute corner of your eye, something moves, fast. A massive dog burst from behind a parked car. Its teeth are bared, and it is charging right at you.
Okay, we really need to dive into this timeline, because the sheer speed of what happens next is absolutely mind-blowing. Before you can even form a single conscious thought, light hits your retina in 1 millisecond. By 15 milliseconds, that visual signal hits your amygdala, your brain's internal threat detector. It asks, wait, is this dangerous? And instantly screams, yes. By 30 milliseconds, the alarm reaches the hypothalamus, which is basically your brain's emergency control room. The sequence is brutally fast and entirely automatic, no thinking required. Section 3. The adrenaline cascade begins. This is where it all kicks off. The hypothalamus doesn't hesitate for a microsecond. It doesn't hold a committee meeting to discuss the dog. It immediately activates the sympathetic nervous system, sending pure electrical impulses racing down your spinal cord like high-voltage wiring. The message spreads to every major organ, and it contains just one single terrifying instruction: survive. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact source of your sudden superhuman power. Sitting quietly right above each of your kidneys are your adrenal glands. They receive that emergency spinal signal and they wake up violently. The inner portion, the adrenal medulla, instantly releases a massive, system-shocking flood of epinephrine, which is just the medical term for adrenaline, along with norepinephrine, directly into your bloodstream. The emergency chemical is officially unleashed. Your heart receives the very first call. Adrenaline attaches to special receptors in your heart tissue, like a key slamming into a lock. Immediately, your sinoatrial node starts firing way faster. Your pulse jumps from that relaxed 70 beats per minute to 90 to 120, maybe even way higher in a matter of a few seconds. Your heart is contracting brutally hard, ejecting massive amounts of blood with every single beat. Why? Because survival requires oxygen, and your muscles are about to demand an enormous amount of it.
Section 4. Reallocating the body's resources. Your body now relies on pure, calculating intelligence. It begins a split-second physiological triage. Not every organ gets to keep that oxygen-rich blood. Your body starts ruthlessly reallocating its resources, deciding right then and there what is actually essential for you to live through the next 5 minutes.
The breakdown is just ruthless. Blood vessels supplying your skeletal muscles, your heart, and your brain dilate. They open incredibly wide to catch all the fuel. But the blood vessels supplying your skin, your kidneys, and your digestive organs, they forcefully constrict. Remember that turkey sandwich? Your body shuts down digestion entirely, essentially saying, look, we will deal with lunch if we actually survive this. Your mouth goes completely dry, intestinal movement stops dead, and all of your energy shifts entirely outward. And then your lungs violently join the fight. To really understand the sheer power of this, imagine the terrifying visceral sensation of a severe asthma attack. During an attack, your airways are violently swelling shut. Your chest feels like it's being slowly crushed in an iron vise. You are desperately, graphically gasping, trying to suck just a tiny, miserable sip of air through what feels like a microscopic straw. Pure, unadulterated panic sets in as your body realizes it's starving for oxygen. The medical intervention for this terrifying suffocation? An inhaler packed with beta agonists. These are drugs specifically engineered to mimic the exact explosive surge of adrenaline we're talking about. When that chemical hits your lungs' receptors, it violently forces those constricted airways to snap open. Well, right now, facing this charging dog, your body is deploying that exact same life-saving mechanism entirely on its own. Your airways physically widen into giant open pipes to pull in massive life-saving volumes of oxygen.
The incredible transformation just continues across the board. Your liver aggressively starts breaking down stored glycogen, flooding your blood with emergency glucose for instant muscular fuel. Your pupils dilate, turning your eyes into wider windows to soak in way more light, and severely sharpen your peripheral awareness. You need to see every single movement that dog makes. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, that's the logical, careful planning part of your brain, becomes completely overwritten. You aren't doing math right now. Your attention narrows perfectly, purely onto the threat. Which actually leads to a really fascinating physiological question. Why do you start sweating when you are terrified? As blood drains from your skin, making you look pale, your sweat glands rapidly activate. Your palms get super sweaty. Listen, it's not just a nervous tic. That moisture physically improves your grip for fighting or climbing, and it actively regulates the intense burning heat your explosive muscles are about to generate. It's a built-in cooling system for your survival engine. So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. You are now an explosive survival machine. Even your pain perception is temporarily suppressed. If you twist your ankle sprinting away from this dog, or scrape your arm on a chain-link fence, you probably won't even feel it until much, much later. Adrenaline literally masks the pain because your body knows that stopping to nurse a minor wound right now means you might not survive at all. Section 5. Return to rest and digest. But then, the dog just stops. Maybe it hit the end of a chain you didn't see. Maybe the owner yells and calls it back. Whatever happens, the threat passes. Your brain registers the change in the environment, and just like that, the hypothalamus cancels the alarm. This is exactly when the cleanup crew arrives. The parasympathetic nervous system takes over again, kind of like firefighters stepping back after finally extinguishing a massive blaze. Your heart rate begins to slowly fall. Your blood pressure drops back down. Your intensely opened airways return to their normal size. Digestion restarts, saliva returns to your mouth, and your body immediately begins repairing the microscopic damage caused by redlining your physical engine so hard. And this actually brings us to a really common misconception. You know that intense, uncontrollable trembling you get after a near miss? You shake because the adrenaline is wearing off, not because it's increasing. As that massive survival chemical spike slowly leaves your receptors and the parasympathetic system forcefully takes back the steering wheel, your muscles tremble during the come down. Section 6. When the system misfires. Now, let's bring this all back to the modern world and see how this ancient biology plays out today. Because quite often, this absolutely perfect survival system misfires. We all carry around this primal alarm system, but it frequently gets activated without any charging dogs or actual physical predators in sight. Take a look at this list of modern triggers. An important exam, a high-stakes job interview, stepping up to a podium for public speaking, plunging into deep financial stress. These psychological stressors completely trick your brain. Your body responds exactly as if it were facing a charging predator. The biology is literally identical. The racing heart, the sweaty palms, the rapid breathing, the completely dry mouth as your digestion shuts down. It's just that the danger is entirely in your mind, not in the physical room with you. And understanding this biology is just incredibly vital. Look at the autonomic story told in clinical settings. When a patient goes into shock, their skin is cold and clammy because the body is ruthlessly constricting surface vessels to save the vital core organs. In cardiac arrest or extreme allergic anaphylaxis, a literal shot of epinephrine jumpstarts the system, violently forcing the heart to beat again to save a life. And again, bringing it back to severe asthma, when a patient arrives in the ER graphically struggling, their chest heavily heaving, lips literally turning blue, completely locked out of their own lungs as their airways spasm shut, we use these adrenaline mimics. The drug hits the receptors and physically forces the airways to dilate and snap open. It is raw, primal survival biology applied directly as a modern medical miracle. But, of course, there is a serious dark side to this mechanism. Chronic stress turns this incredible survival tool into a massive health risk. Adrenaline and the sympathetic nervous system are incredibly expensive for the human body to maintain.
If you leave this system turned on constantly because of daily anxieties and pressures, your blood pressure stays elevated, your blood sugar remains high, and your immune system actually becomes way less effective. Your body literally begins wearing itself down from the inside out. Section 7. The bigger picture. So what does this all mean? Adrenaline isn't just a simple hormone floating around in your blood. It is a massive systemic chemical announcement that survival has suddenly become the absolute highest priority. It's the ultimate override switch that fundamentally reorganizes how your organs behave in a fraction of a second.
I absolutely love this quote from the source text. It perfectly captures the brilliance of what we've just uncovered. It is one of the most elegant examples of how the human body can reorganize itself within seconds, shifting from maintaining life to protecting it. Think about that. It transforms your heart into a super pump, your lungs into massive bellows, and your muscles into explosive engines, purely to keep you alive. Which leaves us with a critical, very personal question to consider as we wrap up. What psychological predators in your daily life are secretly keeping your body locked in survival mode? Think about those unread emails, those looming deadlines, the daily grind. Are they tricking your ancient biology into fighting a war that isn't actually there? Next time you feel that heart rate spike over a simple notification, take a breath, turn on that parasympathetic brake, and let your body know you are safe.